Hi, guys, and welcome back to Psalm 40, verse 3, the podcast. So I know this is a podcast that the Lord wanted me to create, um, but also I know that He wanted me to just get on here and begin to testify. Okay, and in my first video, I spoke about how that was one of the ways that he was just guiding me and directing me to make room for the new, and that was to just testify to the things that he's already done, right? And I kind of felt like I was backed up with testimonies, but um, I actually have shared these testimonies, just not on a platform like this necessarily. And so today I just wanted to encourage somebody that the Lord will provide, okay? If you look to the Lord and you trust in Him to be your provider, then you will see Him as such, right? Um, I could just think of just over the years, all the things and all the ways He's come through and all the things He's just done for me, from the big to the small and all in between. And I've kind of, you know, looked at others, not in a sense of comparison, but just kind of observing and noticing that um, when we don't give him that room or that space to be who he says he is, then oftentimes we can miss it. Okay. And so um, I take God pretty literal when he says that he is my provider. And so, Um, I remember when I had first got, well, I never had license before, okay? And um, the Lord just showed me favor and I got into a program. And the program was, I would go through the steps of getting my license. So I would need to get um, like my permit first. And then after about 3 months, I could get my license. And so I had owed a couple thousand for to get my license back. And so, in order for me, instead of paying all the money at once, I could get on this program, pay a monthly payment, and as I'm paying off my debt, I can get my license back in the midst as I'm making monthly payments. And first, I want to say just the amount that I paid a month was favor alone, because I doubt that there was anybody on the program who was paying that little amount a month. But it was what I had to work with, and God made a way for me. And so after years of just like getting my cars towed or riding around with fake insurance, no license, seeing the police get behind me and just knowing my day is over from then, because I I have nothing good to show them. Okay. Um, just being terrified of the police, even noticing me on the road, right? Because I knew I didn't have license, I knew I didn't have insurance, um, all the things. And so I got my permit, and I remember I had just probably enough to buy a little hoopty. Okay. And I was so excited. It was the beginning of the summer, and I'm like, I'm finna buy me a car. I'm gonna buy me one. And um, I remember like being freshly in this program and knowing that they said if you get pulled over driving while you only have your permit and there's not a licensed driver in the car with you, that you're going to be basically removed from the program and all the money that you've already paid is forfeited. um and I knew that was like quite the chance to take, and that was not God's best for me. And I just felt like he was telling me to wait. I knew he was telling me to wait. And he said, Deja, if you're going to do things my way, if you're going to follow my will, then you need to do it all the way. Okay. And so the program alone was God's will, right? But if I was going to really allow him to get the glory and really guide and lead me, then I needed to wait until I was a licensed driver, before I went and got a car. And I cried tears of sorrow. I was horrified. I was sad. That meant I was not going to be outside in my hoopty that summer. That meant I was going to wait another 3 months and wait on the Lord. I was going to be obedient even when it hurt. Okay. And so when that 3 months came, because I only had such a little amount of money, anyways, I did not save the money. I just I was not good at saving money. Okay. Gotta be honest with you. And so the money was gone. And um, I just had surrendered that to the Lord. It probably crossed my mind sometimes, but I don't know. And so I want to say, I got them in about, so I think I got my license like a month after I finally did get my license. Um, One of my family members actually uh, called me and decided to give me a car. And it was just, I knew it was the Lord, right? Just providing for me. Okay. And the car was amazing. It worked great. And it was about 10 years newer than any car I had ever purchased for myself. Okay. And it seemed like a dream being on the road and seeing police officers and sheriffs and all of that. And just knowing that I was legit and that God was backing me because I was obedient and I waited upon him, right? There's so much um just peace that comes along with being obedient and being in the will and in alignment with God. You know what I'm saying? Like, there, who's to say that I would have gotten pulled over, right? If I would have bought a hoopty and I just drove with my permit. It was only 3 months, right? And who's to say God wouldn't have still just looked out anyways? But there was just so much peace with being obedient and knowing that I walked that thing out and I waited on him and I let him have his way. And what he gifted me with was something that I couldn't have provided for myself. It outdid what I could have done. It outdid my plans. Okay. I was planning to get a hoopty, and who knows how long that car would have lasted. um the car God gifted me with has lasted longer than any car I've ever had. Any car I've ever had. Okay, the car has never been towed. Like, just like, man, I don't know. But I just want to encourage somebody today that God will provide and he will use whoever he pleases. Because I even just like laughed with the Lord at who he used to provide me with the car. Like, he has a sense of humor. Um, he can use anybody and anything to bless you. Okay, even your enemies, even people who don't like you for real, right? God will use them um, as a source of provision for you. And it just really, once again, showed his sovereignty. Um, it showed that his plans are better than mine. It showed that um, obedience paid off. I don't know who needs to hear that. Maybe we all do, but your obedience will pay off. Okay, God honors obedience, right? He honors when we trust him and when we wait on him. Okay, and so if you've been obedient and you're trusting in God and you're waiting on God, now is not the time to give up. And I honestly hate hearing that, because it's like, well, then when is the time? Because it sounds like it's never the time, right? But um, coming from me, someone who understands, I just want to say that God is faithful. God is faithful, and he owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. Okay, he's got it. Whatever you need, he's got it. Okay, just walk in order, walk in his divine and perfect order. Okay, had I drove a car knowing I wasn't licensed and insured, I would have been stepping out of order, right? And that brings chaos. When we step out of order, it brings chaos, right? And so because I was in alignment, I was in order with God, right? All the things, then the fruit of that was peace. The fruit of that was just an experience with driving that I had never had, right? Where I didn't have to fear the police. I didn't have to fear my car getting towed. I didn't have to fear all the things, losing it all because I can't afford to get my car out of the pound or whatever. Okay. And so I pray that this encourages somebody to look to God to provide, right? Align yourself, be obedient, wait on God, and know that He is faithful, okay? Know that He is faithful and He delights in being faithful to you as you wait upon Him, as you trust in Him, right? It's not like He's doing it just out of obligation. He delights in coming through for you. He delights in coming through for me, okay? He's our Father who loves us with an unconditional love, okay? And so, I don't know. I pray that this encourages somebody to just um, wait on God. Wait on God. What He has for you is going to surpass um, what you thought or what you could come up with on your own. Okay, and it takes humility to believe that and receive that. Okay, so you guys just have a blessed rest of your day. I love you, and God loves you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.